When you think of the voice of NASCAR during the weeks and the weekends, you think of Mike Bagley on the radio for MRN. How much work does this job require?
Requires a lot of work, a lot of stat work. You got to know what's going on in the garage. You got to know the drivers changing rides. You got to know what the rules package is in cases of races like Talladega. So there's a lot of prep work that goes into this, and just being prepared every time you go on the air, whether it's during the week for a talk show or at the racetrack on the weekend.
I mean, yeah, this job for you is like 7 days a week. You mentioned the prep work. How many hours per day of just prep work is there?
I would say there are more days where there's more than, well, there are days where it's more than others, but I would say on average 2 to 3 hours a day. And then if I'm in the booth or doing something for MRN like that, there's probably about triple, quadruple that. Just try to get ready, look at all the press releases, all the stats and all that stuff.
Let's talk race day. You guys just got out of a meeting. What's discussed on the day of a race?
Well, we just got out of our meeting, and we're talking about what the storylines are, who we're talking to, how we need to approach it, when do we do it, what ties into the storyline, who's the good drafting guys, who do we think can get that surprise win, who can get their first victory. Talladega's been known for an upset winner, so who could possibly fill that moniker today, who can get that win today, and then just basically organize ourselves for the pre-race, because once the green flag flies, it's like riding a bull. You grab the rope and you hang on tight and hang on because you don't know where you're going. So we get everything buttoned up and ironed out and kind of get a game plan of where we're going, and then once the green flag flies, we just follow the race from there, wherever the race takes us.
At MRN, they use you in a bunch of different positions, whether it's up on the booth, in the turns. Where's your favorite place to call a race?
I like being in the turns. I like being out next to the race cars. I like being in close to the action. Being in the booth is great, and the air-conditioned comfort that goes along with it. But there's nothing like being out in the elements, and you're out there with the fans, and you can smell it, you can feel it, and you also get a good suntan while you're at it too. Lots of sunscreen.
I need that too. You can smell it, you can feel it, and you can see it, but the fans can't, so you have to paint that picture for them. How important is a good vocabulary in this job?
Well, you need that. You also need to know how to talk. You need good grammar.
That's important.
But to your point is, TV has pictures and they provide captions. We're responsible for painting those pictures. So you try to be as descriptive as possible, and you try to basically paint that picture in the fan's mind so that when they're riding down the road, they have a clear picture of what's happening. Most of the time, we nail it, but there are some times where perhaps the tongue doesn't work as good as it should. But you got to know how to describe it and do it in a way that it gets the fans excited and conveys the excitement that we're seeing on the racetrack.
Now, at the track, I always listen to MRN when I watch the race, and you guys are just fluid. It just seems like you are so smooth during the transitions. How do you get that so perfect?
Well, a lot of us, we've all worked together for a long time. We have drop points on the racetrack to where when the cars reach a certain point, the announcer before me, in most cases, is Dave Moody. When the cars get to that point, he will complete a sentence and not start another. And it's all in voice inflection. People think that there are lights and there's people in our ears talking and all this stuff. It's none of that. It's all voice inflection. Dave gets the handoff from the booth, and then Dave hands it to me, and then I'll hand it to Kyle Rickey, Kurt Becker, Dylan Welch, who's ever in the corners. But it's most of the time inflection, and when the cars get to that point on the racetrack, wrap up your thought, give the inflection, and then the next announcer picks it up. We've been doing it for so long. We work together. We know each other's style, and we know what's coming and what shouldn't be coming. So, for the most part, we nail it seamlessly. But then there are times where, again, the race dictates, what's happening, or somebody's doing something on the racetrack. So we follow that, but we're able to do that baton-style handoff, as Dale Jr. calls it, fluidly around the racetrack between all of us.